Welcome back to health class. We're teaching health by all means and by any means necessary. I'm your virtual health specialist, Sherry Griffith. They call me the health teacher.
And I'm Dwayne Johnson, aka The Rock, former health professional, educator, now turned technology coordinator.
Well, we're here to help you be the best health teacher you can be. When I was in high school, I received my ADAP card. ADAP stands for Alcohol and Drug Awareness Program, and you need the card to receive your driver's license learner's permit. My health teacher also got the whole class certified in CPR and first aid by training us himself how to save lives and how to help people.
Oh wow, for a second there, I thought you were going to take it back to the mid '80s in the DARE program.
Wow.
Remember that?
I remember. I
So
remember.
so yeah, I recently saw a student with a DARE shirt on, right? The student probably was about 13 or 14 years old. And I said, please don't wear that shirt because you know nothing about that shirt. You do not, you're too young to understand what that DARE stands for.
What's it
So
stand for?
drug awareness and resistance education.
Cool, you remember.
Is that right?
It sounds right.
Okay, let's hope it's right. All right, somebody check that. But yes,
Okay.
so I thought you were taking it back to the DARE program. So I do remember graduating from that program, and it wasn't
Wow.
really, affiliated with anything other than just getting students into understanding the dangers of drugs and being able to not only that, just how to say no. So I thought that was pretty cool that you brought that up, drug awareness back in the 80s and 90s. So I'm sure there were tons of other programs out there, but that one just stuck out in my head.
You know, when you said dare, the first thing I thought about was Nancy Reagan and Mr. T.
Yep. Yeah.
And I tell my students the president's wife's job is to be a health advocate close to the end of health class. And it's time for us to be making a PSA. At the end of my health class, I have students make music videos, they make PSAs. I'll let them go in different locations on their own in the building outside, um, wherever they feel most comfortable at, and let them be a real, true health advocate and publish their work. I grew up in the 80s and the 90s. While you're talking about the DARE program, I did grow up in the 80s and the 90s. And it seemed like everything was set up for my success. The media promoted that we live in a land of opportunity. And the music said, we are the world.
Hmm.
And I believe the children are our future. And rappers who advocated using no profanity won music awards.
Oh wow, what a time we live
Okay.
in.
And the TV and the movies cheered on the underdogs, showed people that working together diminishes adversities, and it cheered on survival and profitable outcomes. Like, cheered on somebody surviving, and in every direction it was encouraged to avoid or reduce risky behaviors and to practice health enhancing behaviors. But for adolescents today, not so much at all.
No, I agree. Back when the cool kid was a kid that actually said no, right, to drugs. Oh, I'm sorry, and two to go back, all you millennials and younger out there, PSAs or public service announcements, right? So I used to love doing those. As a matter of fact, back in when I was a health student myself, so I thought that was pretty cool. You brought that up. PSAs brought back memories. But yes, not so much today. Today, unfortunately, I think there are more risks And I think students are willing to take more risk these days, even if the outcome can be dangerous or the outcome can be something that's not so desirable. They feel like they only live once, right? You know, the YOLO generation, remember that not too long ago? Just feeling like I'm only going to live once. I have to try everything once, right? Because I don't want to go leave this earth saying I didn't get a chance to experience something, even if it included a risky behavior. And that's what I try to instill even in my own children, is that sometimes the risk will outweigh the reward. Okay, so the risk may seem tiny and minute, but the reward, okay, is even smaller if you put it in perspective, right? So, for example, going out, riding a bicycle, I'll take it back to bicycle safety, right? And not wearing that helmet. You know, how many kids we see now, not wearing the helmet. So, that simple risk, okay, going down the street a quarter of a mile, what are the odds of a car veering off the road and hitting you, right? Very small, okay, very minute chance that a car will come by and knock you off that bicycle and you hit your head on the concrete or the road. Very small risk. But the reward for not wearing that helmet can also be the one that puts you in the hospital, right? So I kind of think about it in a backwards sense, of that being not really technically a reward, but the chances of that happening are so slim. But if it does happen, your chances of survival on a bicycle with a car without a helmet diminish, right? So I always like to teach that even with my own kids, of practicing those healthy behaviors and not taking risks, okay? Or taking, if you're going to take a risk, make sure it's a healthy risk, okay? Not all risks are bad, okay? I like to always spin things into the positive, okay? Not all risks are bad. Some risks are good risks. I want an apple today. I want a banana today for a snack. Okay, I'm going to take a risk. I'm going to choose the apple. Okay, those are win-wins, right?
Yeah.
So I like to put my students in win-win situations. If you have to choose something, choose between two positive things.
That's a great way to put it. And unfortunately, our students today, the kids today, even the young adults beyond adolescence, I hate to say it, even some adults are being challenged. And it's funny, we want to provide challenging academics to promote the best out of our students. But in the real world today, challenges aren't doing that. Challenges are on the internet and social media. For example, one day my nephew in his 20s was telling me about a cinnamon challenge.
Oh, I just thought
I
about
was
this
like,
the other day.
a
Ugh.
cinnamon challenge? Like, what's that? And he said, and he let me know, he knew what the consequences was going to be. He saw how many people, countless people all over the internet, but he wanted to do it too because he was challenged. No one challenged him personally. It's just a trend. And what happens, Dwayne, since you were talking about the other day, because it just threw me off. What happens when you put cinnamon in your mouth, try to swallow it?
Ooh, you think about those fine particles that cinnamon makes, kind of that dust consistency, right?
Yeah.
Oh, it's got to go somewhere, right?
Where's it go? And he,
Everywhere oxygen is trying to go. Let's put it that way.
wow, that's a great way to put it. All I know is my nephew is telling me it's impossible. And I think that's what the challenge is that it's impossible, that no one can do it. So he wanted to see, could he do it? Because he's mighty man. To swallow some cinnamon is automatically going to cause somebody to throw up, I guess.
Yeah, and a lot probably can be a lot worse than that, depending on how much. So I will advise no one out there to try this challenge. My wife was looking for some cinnamon yesterday to cook with, and as I'm looking in the cabinet, that actually crossed my mind of like, wow, I wonder if anybody still does cinnamon challenges. And you just confirmed that.
It was some time ago, but it's unfortunate that that's what our adolescents today are faced with. Um, how easily that they're influenced by others to do things that can definitely harm them, have serious effects on their personal health. And for this reason, health standard 2 lives rent free in my mind. And health standard number 2, if you don't know what that is out there, it's analyze the influence of family, peers, culture, media, technology, and other factors. For me, it's the standard that makes everything real. The main reason is because how much the media in the 80s and the 90s influenced me. It really does. Like when I'm stressed out, a lot of the things that I saw growing up, it jumps right into play to make me feel like I already know everything is going to be okay in the end. And so I find in science or in social studies, it's taught that we're products of our genetics and our environment. But riddle me this, Dwayne. In reality, could we really be under the influence of family and culture more so than genetics? Or are we influenced by media and technology rather than history repeating itself? It makes me think of something that Malcolm X once said. If you want to control a group of people, control their media. What do you think? Thanks for joining us. Is there anything you'd like to say to the people?
Just thank you for being there. Thank you for listening today. And remember to continue to educate and to be that health teacher for yourself, your family, your friends, and for everyone around you. And we appreciate you.
Health classes for everybody. Thanks for joining us. Y'all remember out there, if you don't have your health, you don't have your life. Thank you.